All right.
Welcome back.
This is TTRPG News, Monday, February 14th.
Oh my gosh, you guys were getting so good. The date was
Right.
changed.
Yes, I was.
Holy
I'm very
cow.
proud of myself for that one.
This is awesome. So first up, happy Valentine's Day. We hope that you have spent your day wonderfully, that you've got to play some games, possibly some love games. One that we really enjoy and have enjoyed in the past is Fog of Love.
Fun game.
It's a really, really fun relationships role-playing game. If you haven't seen it before, check it out. It's a really, really great game. But first, in our news rundown for the week, Wizards of the Coast announced and released their revenue statements for 2021 and announced that they broke $1.3 billion with a B in revenue for the year 2021. That is a huge increase from previous years, even in 2020. So we can safe to say that TTRPGs are in a massive renaissance right now.
Well, it's funny because Hasbro, the parent company, only reported $2 billion. So
half of Hasbro's revenue was from
Wizards of the Coast. One thing that I read actually is that is the first time that a Hasbro subsidiary has broken $1 billion.
Wow.
Ever. So it is a big thing for them. It is a definite proof that the market is growing, that the interest in Wizards of the Coast and D&D and all that is exploding, which we have definitely seen, which is going to mean more money, more things, more fun for us.
Hopefully it's going to be more cool content for us to get to play within the world of D&D. But do remember that Wizards of the Coast owns Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, and an entire book franchise as well. So they're not just getting their money from Dungeons and Dragons. There are multiple streams of income.
Well, and there's going to be video
Wizards of the
games.
Coast.
We're probably going to get a lot more video games with who they brought in.
Yeah, with this changeover of the executive staff.
But all this points to a very strong year for Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, which is awesome. Next up... Am I taking that one?
I'll take this one.
You take that one.
We have that. So there's been a big push for fans of Critical Role to help make The Legend of Vox Machina a success commercially, and I think they can say they have achieved that.
It has 100% rating.
Yep, on Rotten Tomatoes,
which is crazy.
It's got 100% critic and 93% viewer, which is... I mean, you don't have many shows these days where the critics and the viewers agree.
Yeah.
And I imagine the 7% who didn't say they liked it, mainly it's because they're Critical Role show fans who were sad that certain things were left out, like certain scenes and certain, kisses and things like that.
We'll talk about that later.
But that is awesome. And they managed to come in third right now. They are behind Reacher and one other romantic comedy that I cannot remember for the life of me what name was.
Which makes sense, though, because it's Valentine's Day weekend. So right now, with them being behind a romantic comedy makes total sense. Yeah. So that's yay for Critical Role. That's exciting. And it brings a lot of new eyes to Dungeons and Dragons, which is really great.
Well, and it can guarantees you those multiple seasons. I know they've already greenlit the second season.
Yep, they've signed for season 2, which is good because this first season is only the Briarwood arc. So we want to see more things happen later on, like Vecna and whatnot. So
I want me some Vecna.
Moving on from Vecna and Critical Role, Paizo officially today announced that they are re-releasing an old book called The Crown of the Kobold King. It's an adventure book, and it's an anniversary edition, converting it to 2.0 from 1.0 editions. It's going to be in a special edition format with the leather binding and the gold filigree, and a normal with their just regular artwork in a hardback cover as well. That is being released in August. So that's not for a hot second, but you can start doing pre-orders and whatnot. But along with that announcement of Crown of the Kobold King being re-released is a much bigger deal, I feel like, for those who are fans of Pathfinder. They have announced that previous out-of-print Pathfinder 1.0 books are going to be available on TTRPG. So you can get all of the out of print adventures and all of the lore books and all of the things that they haven't printed in a really long time, like the core rule book you can get, and they don't print those really anymore, I don't think.
No, they do. You can still buy the core rule books.
Can you?
But there's a lot of lore books that were printed for first edition you can't get
now. But those are all going to be available on TTRPG as PDFs to purchase and download.
Yep.
Which is pretty dang cool. All right.
And our last piece of news tonight, which actually is the beginner for the discussion that we'll be jumping into, is regarding the experience and what's happened with Wizards of the Coast, specifically in regards to Magic the Gathering and NFTs. So there was an unofficial NFT Magic the Gathering project. A bunch of guys who were apparently planning on, hey, we're going to make NFTs of Magic the Gathering cards, and we're not going to get permission from Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. Like, what?
I don't understand how they thought that was going to fly regardless. But
I don't either, but apparently they did. So they created this project. They were working to create NFTs, and Wizards of the Coast found out about it, and just last week came in and were like, no, you can't make NFTs of our games. Now, from what I understand, it was not aggressive. It was, please, do not continue with this project.
Yeah.
We own this stuff. It's ours. And also indicated in that message that they were looking at NFTs of their own.
Yeah.
Which launched a storm of... They posted the unofficial Magic the Gathering NFT project, posted it on Twitter with showing the response, and there's blew things up.
Yeah, it got really intense, and I'm really surprised the way that it has kind of divided the TTRPG community, at least on Twitter, where there are people who are like super for it and people who are like super against it. So
this has definitely been a big piece of news, the plan of NFTs in Magic the Gathering in the future, and the end of that unofficial project that a lot of people were looking at.
Yeah, so that is all for this week's TTRPG news on a wonderful Monday Valentine's.
Thank you very much. And now back to discussion.